It's the news that Tottenham fans have been dreading. Let's get straight to our reporter Paul Gilmer, who's got the story. So, Paul, what can you tell us?
Yeah, well, we can tell you that Harry Kane has told Tottenham he wants to leave this summer.
Harry Kane has rocked Tottenham with his decision to leave Spurs. He's dipping off. He's getting out of there. And this has the potential to be one of the biggest footballing transfers in the history of the game. But where is he going to go? And why is it a supermarket? Let's go! So this week, with Tottenham down in 6th in the league and without a realistic chance of entering the Champions League, Harry Kane allegedly has gone to Daniel Levy and said that he wants to leave the club this summer. And with Spurs seemingly on the edge of needing yet another rebuild, like a year after the last one, and with big old Hazard in the prime of his career, he's decided that now is the time to move. They're nowhere near Manchester City. They're not even really that close to the likes of United, Liverpool and Chelsea, even after their really strong start to the season. Jose Mourinho's gone, the Super League drama hangs over them, they have no idea who their next coach is going to be, and their current gaffer is Ryan Mason, and he's 29. Kane and him are basically the same age. Where's the power balance in this relationship? Harry, mate, if I could just get you to no. Nah, it's just no. Daniel Levy promised this man silverware and delivered them a pre-season trophy. No amount of DVDs based on an Audi Cup victory is going to keep this man around. Maybe if they got him an Audi. No, that's not going to keep him around, Niran. Knowing Daniel Levy as well, they'd probably just get him an A1 hatchback. Not even a sport version. The Dulux Paint Twitter page was just him on a burner account letting his anger out. How can you expect one of the greatest goal scorers in our generation to get violated by a dog online? But it goes without saying the implications here for Tottenham are enormous. Not only are they losing a player who's dragged them through thick and thin and got them through some of the most difficult points in their current history, he's a massive character in the changing room. He leads by example, and it would probably see the likes of a Heung-min Son, who's also in a similar stage of his career, probably want to dip out for a better venture as well. But where does he go? There's several big clubs in the world, but can any of them even afford him? We'll start off in the UK. Manchester United are the first team really that comes to mind. And with their pulling power, the size of that club, they probably could just about afford Harry Kane, given he's probably going to be £120 million in this COVID climate. But they need players in other positions. They're not going to win a Premier League with Fred and McTominay as a double. It's not happening, lads. They need a centre-back. Lindelof isn't good enough, and they want Jadon Sancho as well. They'd have to sacrifice those other signings to bring Kane in. Though having said that, it would probably be Ed Woodward's final act to somehow make a shambles of this transfer saga. Hi mate, it's Ed. I know you haven't replied to my most recent emails, but can I interest you in a free trip to Dubai if you come to the football club? Please, I'm begging. Manchester City, next up. Now, they've got all the money in the world to spend on a player, and they have spent a lot of money on their squad, but they don't tend to actually buy players for enormous amounts of money, like £120 million standalone. Would he fit in the system? Potentially. He tends to drop back nowadays and try and play make in that kind of half false nine way, but that's mostly because he feels like he has to do everything at Spurs. But would Pep Guardiola play him as a trequartista at inverted left wing back? Maybe. If he did come in and he did play as a striker along with Kevin De Bruyne, it's wraps for the rest of the division. It's a goal on the edge of half-time. That makes it 28-0. Chelsea, I guess, is another option as far as English teams are concerned, but with their recent spending, I know Abramovich is pretty rich, but they did spend a lot last season. I think bringing in Kane, especially after the signing of Werner, it's just not going to happen. And Harry Kane still loves Tottenham, so I doubt he's going to want to go to Chelsea. Simply put, Liverpool and Arsenal cannot afford this man. FSG would get banned from North London after making a bid of Reece Williams plus £3.5 million. The instalments would be out in full force. Michael, this contract includes a clause for giving them more money if we win the Super Bowl. And what are you talking about? We're gonna try and pay off this deal using Klarna like it's an ASOS order. Who am I kidding? The debit card's getting declined anyway. And if Liverpool can't afford it, then you best believe Arsenal aren't going to be either.
The team, I mean,
I ain't got that sort of money.
I'm not paying 13 quid.
No.
In Italy, there's no real viable options there. Inter and AC definitely can't afford it. Inter have Lukaku anyway. Juventus simply can't afford it. They're in far too much debt after the Ronaldo deal. Real and Barcelona are in the mud. These lot are in so much debt that it'd basically be the Spanish government signing the guy instead. If Barcelona even so much as thought about a bid for Harry Kane, they'd have to set up a GoFundMe for it. And then there's Paris Saint-Germain, who once again, like Manchester City, have all the money in the world. Arguably the space for a signing like that, even though they've got Mbappe and Neymar already. Plus it would be an opportunity for the Maurizio Pochettino link-up that existed once upon a time at Tottenham. And for me, the reigning French champions and Manchester City are his main options here, really. Mostly because I think, honestly, those are the only two teams that can afford to buy him and then afford his wages on top of whatever else they do in the window. At City, it's guaranteed Premier Leagues at some point. There's gonna be challenges from Liverpool, Chelsea, maybe even Manchester United. But over the next 5 years, if he was to sign for City, he's winning at least 2 Premier Leagues. And inevitably some kind of Champions League or European competition too. It's a chance to work under one of the best managers of all time, and it would give him the ability to beat Alan Shearer's goal-scoring record in the Premier League. Fam, he'd just have to stand in the area and let the ball hit him, and he'd score 40 goals in a season. At Paris Saint-Germain, there's the same guarantee of trophies as well, even though Lille may well win Ligue 1 this season. As I said, there's that Pochettino link-up. Once again, he'd be surrounded by some of the best players in the world, but he would need to learn a new language in French, and quite frankly, he needs to get on top of his own language first. That's mental. I just can't run. What I would say though is it's very mutually beneficial for Paris Saint-Germain as well. Not only will they be acquiring one of the top 2 strikers in world football right now, but he's that type of model citizen who would actually come in and prevent stuff like the collapse against Manchester City from happening, or at least attempt to. He's a lot more professional than anybody else in that Paris Saint-Germain side, along with the likes of Marquinhos and Kylian Mbappe. He would help steady the ship from that sort of perspective. He's not a winner. He's not won, well, anything, to be fair. But if Paris Saint-Germain bought him and then a central midfielder who was used to winning stuff, then honestly, I think they could be pretty undefeatable with the talent and then balance of personalities they'd have in the changing room at that stage. Overall, though, he's got limited options. I can't lie, and he's still got like 3 years left on his current deal. Daniel Levy and Tottenham kind of have all the power in this situation. As much as you'll see a dip in his form by some small degree next season if he is kept against his will, and an inevitable fallout and bridges being burnt eventually, he may well have to wait. There's only 2 clubs that can afford him, and neither of them may want to sign him this summer. Daniel Levy ultimately kind of has the power here, as I mentioned, though it is going to make the next season of Spurs all or nothing very, very interesting. You know what? Fuck it. Go to #United. They've just been promoted. Get him in the mix there. Spurs are talking about a replacement. You're not replacing nothing. If by any chance Harry Kane does manage to force through a transfer here during this particular summer, Spurs are done out. Alright, because Heung-min Son will go, and they will ultimately spend £38 million on Yago Aspas to replace him, as well as several other players who just about scrape into Lazio's first team. So PSG and Man City are my main options, with United I think as an outsider. If they are willing to sacrifice all the other deals they need to do in order to bring him in, I think they would potentially have the pulling power, and that would definitely propel them towards City. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Where do you think Harry Kane is gonna be come September? Will he still be a Tottenham player? Have we seen pretty much the extent of his Spurs career, or will he be moving on to Man City, PSG, United, somewhere else maybe in your minds? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video though, slap a like on it, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. 12,000 likes on this video and I will make a bid for Harry Kane. You can also follow me on social media. It is @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.